What is going on, guys? Welcome to this episode of Odds and Ends. Today we are doing a tag response video to NES Addict. What are your 3 greatest gaming pickups of all time? All that and more next. See, it's funny because that's what Jay does on his channel. Alright, so we are here because we are making a tag response video to NES Addict. If you have not checked out NES Addict, Jay has a really cool channel. I'll leave a link down below. He does live streams, pickups, unboxings, you know, all kinds of stuff, including Nintendo oddities. He's a Nintendo junkie, loves that old Nintendo stuff from the 80s and 90s. So like Dixie cup holders and all kinds of crazy Nintendo stuff that they released back then. He does reviews on that. So like I said, check that out. Now that the pre-promotion is finished, this is an interesting tag video. We're going to be talking about the 3 greatest pickups in my channel's history. Now, it was kind of difficult because I didn't want to do like trades, or maybe I got a really good deal on something at a convention. I just wanted to do straight up in the wild pickups, homie, you know what I'm saying? And as I was whittling down the list, I noticed that all 3 items were Nintendo items, plus I threw in an honorable mention, which is also a Nintendo item. So without further ado, let's just get started. Okay, just missing out, like this wasn't really like, I wouldn't say it's just missing out, but this was something really cool that I picked up, that I got, that wasn't like a pick up. Let me explain. My sister-in-law, I play in a dart league with her and her mom and her dad. And I'd mentioned to them that I collect games, and he was like, hey, we got a bunch of that in our garage, I'll just bring them to you. Well, one night at Dart League, he brought me a box of games, had like Mario 3, Castlevania 3, some good stuff in there. And they said, well, I had the consoles, I couldn't find them. I'll take them over to the sister-in-law's house and drop them off. So he said he was gonna throw them away, right? So we have a boxed PlayStation 2 Slim, a boxed Nintendo 64. Now this is the actual version that my wife, now girlfriend back in high school, she got me back in high school for Christmas one year. And then this NES action set is the same set that I had when I was a kid with the Mario Duck Hunt pack-in. I love it's got a service merchandise sticker down there. Take a look. But yeah, very cool. Can't believe it was just all going to be thrown away. And so we saved it from going to the dump. And again, it wasn't really like a pickup. It was just sort of a free thing that was given to me. But I felt like, as a pickup in general, something that I actually went and physically picked up, as something that that we added to the collection. I thought this was a really cool honorable mention. Okay, let's just get this shindig started. Coming in at number 3 was a super awesome console that I found a couple years ago at Thrift. Alright guys, so last thing that we picked up this week for $12, Pokemon Nintendo 64. Yeah guys, that's right, $12 for a Pikachu Nintendo 64 with the cables and the controllers. I've since cleaned the $12 sticker off the back, but there's an interesting story, a fun story that kind of goes along with this. My area is saturated with thrift stores and video game stores, and there's a lot of hunters, a lot of people that are out garage sale and asking for video games. I mean, it's just something that we do here in Central Ohio. I was going into the thrift store. I was about 15-20 minutes late that day, and as I was going in, another guy that I know that is a collector and a hunter was coming out, and I kind of glanced over his bag, and he smiled at me, and I could see that there were N64 games in the bag. Now, if you know anything about my channel, I love N64, and I'm going for a complete set. I'm about 93 games away or so. I'm just kind of casually collecting, and we'll get there one day. But like I said, the N64 was a console that my wife, my girlfriend in high school, bought me back in the day. But I get over to the counter, and there was like a couple sports games, and I'm looking, and lo and behold, down on the ground underneath the the rack there was this beauty right here. She works. I love it. It's an awesome addition to the collection. I think it's a great story that the hunter before me missed over it, and I was able to get this, and very cool. And that's number 3. Okay, coming in at number 2 was this absolutely amazing shoebox full of Nintendo boxes and manuals that I picked up. I want to say like when I first started my YouTube channel. This had to have been like 4 years ago. But I'm going to give you a sneak preview. Ready? 1, 2, 3. All right, that's all you get until we get back to the game room. So I go to this garage sale, right? All the good stories kind of start out that way. She comes out the back porch carrying this, right? So I go over and I grab the NES off there. I'm like, here, let me help you carry that. And so there was an NES, but I opened this bad boy up. There was a copy of Contra sitting right in there, looking right at me. So she comes over and she sets this box down. And she opens this box. And I start kind of freaking out, but not showing it. Because in there was boxes for NES games. Yeah, it was a crazy day. I don't think I was having a good day garage sailing until this happened. And now that I'm starting to I watched the clip over and I'm kind of remembering what... I remember we were in her garage and she had some like glassware and in the electronics area, you know, like a broken Walkman. But there was a Sega adapter. I don't know if it was for a Genesis or what. And that's how I started the conversation with her. Do you have any video game stuff? She said her sons took it. Then she said, well, I might have some stuff in the house, some controllers. She goes in the house, brings out that shoebox and that Nintendo. And yeah, we got 15 NES boxes out of that. And, you know, for 20 bucks, nobody's going to complain about that. And that was fairly new, like I said, to my collecting, my channel days. So I was thrilled to have it. At that point, it was probably the best pickup anybody's ever had in the history of video games. But I just wanted to show you guys, I've completed all those games, but here are some of the ones that, you know, I thought were really cool. So we have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, iconic Nintendo game, iconic cover for a Nintendo game. It's just one of those games that takes you back. I remember my dad worked with this guy. They were both truck drivers, and he had kids about our age, and they had Ghostbusters and Ninja Turtles, and yeah, they would just had all the Ninja Turtles, the blimp, the figures, everything. So having this game back in the day was definitely a status symbol, and I could never get anywhere. I could never get past the 3rd level. I didn't know where to go. I could always get past the dam, but it was like after that. You can just walk over it, apparently. Here's a cool one. Chip 'n Dale's Rescue Rangers. That was in that box. That is another awesome game. I used to rent that when I was a kid. I could never beat it, but I never really spent too much time with it. I ended up beating it last year, which was awesome. Ninja Turtles 3, The Manhattan Project. Another awesome game that I used to rent. One of my favorite games on the NES now, Darkwing Duck. I love that cartoon. Awesome platformer built off the Mega Man 5 engine. And then the Holy Grail, the best of the best, that was in that shoebox that we got for $20 was the box manual and poster for Battletoads and Battle Maniacs. And that, of course, is Battletoads Double Dragon on the NES. We popped for the cart. I spent $80 on the cartridge about 2 or 3 weeks after I got all of these games. And yeah, we're very happy with that. That's still one of my favorite pickups of all time. All right, coming in at number 1 is an item that I picked up last year at a garage sale, and it proves that there is karma in the universe. All right, there it is, the greatest pickup that I've ever had. This is a Sharp's NES TV from 1989. And this is why you always ask. Go to this garage sale, you got any other video game stuff. Kid brings out some PS4 stuff. I'm like, hey, you got anything older? The guy's like, not really. I'm like, well, what does that mean? And he goes, I have one of those TVs that has a built-in Nintendo. I said, you have that in your house? He was like, yeah. I was like, can we go see it? And we go downstairs and plugs in, plays fine. I said, do you want to sell it? And he goes, well, I've seen them online for a couple $100s. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. And I said, what do you want for it? I was totally expecting him to say like 100 or 150. And he goes, make an offer, which is the wrong thing to say to me sometimes. And I said, how about 40 bucks? And he said, make it 50. And I couldn't get $50 out of my pocket fast enough and get this in the car and head down the road. But the point I want to make about Karma is that I was at a sale previous to this one, and there were a couple like $2 Lego sets, and there was another hunter there asking for video games, asking for Legos, asking for old toys. And I took these Legos and I said, all right, man, well, here, if you want these $2 Legos, here's some sealed sets or whatever. And I got in my car, and I ended up getting to this sale first. Had I bought those Legos, I would have had to stand in line to pay for them, and he would have gotten in his car and driven down the road, and maybe he would have gotten this before I did. So I don't know, the world works in crazy, mysterious ways, but if I'm going to give anybody any tips while they're out there garage sailing and that kind of thing, it's always ask, do you have more of this? Do you have this? You know, to the point where we're almost pestering them. That's how I get most of my good stuff at yard sales, and I know that's how you guys can get some good stuff too. And I want to thank Jay for making this video. This is a fun response video to make. I'm not going to tag anybody. It'll be like an open challenge. So if you make a video, leave a link to your video down below in the comment section, and that would be awesome. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Take care of yourselves, and we will see you on the next one.